Welcome to the Bullvine Podcast, your go-to source for inside stories, cutting-edge research, and the latest updates in the world of dairy farming. In our 166th episode, we dive into the remarkable journey of Bloyce Thompson, Prince Edward Island's deputy premier, who still milks cows at 4:30 a.m. before heading to Parliament. From breeding world-class Holsteins to championing agricultural policy, Thompson's story proves that effective leadership grows from getting your hands dirty before dawn. So, grab a glass of milk, sit back, and let's explore how one man's journey from the milking parlor to the legislature is reshaping agricultural policy in Canada.
Welcome to the Bullvine Podcast. I'm Douglas. Today we're bringing you an incredible story about a man who proves the best agricultural leaders get their boots dirty before dawn.
And I'm Bella, dairy industry analyst. Today we're diving into the remarkable journey of Bloyce Thompson, PEI's deputy premier, who still milks cows at 4:30 a.m. before heading to Parliament.
Picture this. It's 4:30 a.m. at Eastside Farm. The smell of fresh sawdust mingles with morning fog as Bloyce Thompson makes his way through the barn. His well-worn boots leave familiar tracks in the bedding as he moves with purpose between rows of Holsteins. In just 3 hours, he'll trade those work boots for dress shoes and head to the legislature. But first, there are cows to be milked.
What's remarkable about Thompson's story, Douglas, is that this isn't just about maintaining connections to his farming roots. It's about bringing authentic agricultural wisdom to government.
And in 2019, he achieved what many thought impossible, unseating the sitting premier of Prince Edward Island by just 104 votes. But those who knew Thompson weren't surprised.
Exactly. His campaign wasn't built on political rhetoric, but on the same values that made him successful in dairy farming: attention to detail, genuine community connection, and the ability to tackle complex challenges head-on. As a baseball coach and church elder, he was already deeply woven into the community fabric.
What strikes me most is how Thompson approaches both roles with the same dedication. Whether he's analyzing DHI records or reviewing legislation, he brings that farmer's perspective of paying attention to the small details while never losing sight of the bigger picture. Let's talk about where Bloyce Thompson's story began, at Eastside Farm, located 10 kilometers northeast of Charlottetown. This isn't just any dairy operation. It's a 3-generation legacy of agricultural excellence that Thompson has transformed into a globally recognized brand.
What's fascinating about Thompson's early years, Douglas, is how he combined formal education from Dalhousie Agricultural College with generations of practical wisdom. But it was his innovative spirit that truly set him apart.
His most notable achievement was co-breeding Eastside Lewisdale Gold Missy EX95, who dominated both the World Dairy Expo and Royal Winter Fair as Grand and Supreme Champion. But what really showcases his creative thinking was his unique approach to promoting the industry.
Absolutely. For over 20 years, Thompson organized professional photo shoots featuring his prized Holsteins against PEI's most stunning backdrops, from the red sand beaches of Blooming Point to the historic grounds of Province House. These photos, later compiled into a coffee table book, demonstrated his ability to think beyond traditional farming boundaries.
His expertise in bovine livestock breeding took him far beyond PEI's shores, sharing knowledge with dairy communities across the United States, Japan, and Portugal. This deep understanding of both the science and art of dairy farming earned him a seat on the Genetic Evaluation Board of the Canadian Dairy Network.
What's remarkable is how Thompson maintained his connection to the local community even as his reputation grew internationally. He coached baseball and served as vice president of Old Home Week, showing that success didn't mean leaving his roots behind.
His daughter once shared an interesting insight about their calves' personalities. What did she observe?
She could tell a calf's disposition from birth. If they wanted to cuddle, they were friendly and optimistic. If they ran to the back of the pen, they were more cautious. This kind of intuitive understanding of animals would later prove valuable in both Thompson's farming and political careers.
What motivated a successful dairy farmer with international recognition to enter politics? The story begins with a crowd of frustrated farmers in October 2019, when Thompson helped organize a vocal rally opposing the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement.
It wasn't ambition that drove Thompson into politics. It was a deep sense of duty to his community and perfect timing. His mother's long involvement in political organizing had planted those seeds early. But the real catalyst came after that rally, when fellow farmers began suggesting he should run for office.
The path wasn't obvious for someone so dedicated to Holstein genetics and herd management. Yet Thompson's unique ability to connect with people and explain complex issues in relatable terms set him apart.
His campaign against sitting Premier Wade McLauchlan was truly a David versus Goliath battle. Thompson admits it was daunting, nerve-wracking in his words, but he approached it with the same determination he brought to farming, running a grassroots campaign that focused on door-to-door connections rather than traditional political tactics.
Thompson's victory by just 104 votes sent shockwaves through PEI politics. But those who knew him weren't surprised. The same attention to detail that helped him develop world-class Holstein genetics proved invaluable in connecting with voters.
Farming taught me about hard work, perseverance, and humility, values I carried to the doorstep of every voter, Thompson reflects. His triumph wasn't just in winning the election, but in proving that authentic leadership rooted in farming values could resonate with voters.
Within days of his historic victory, Thompson was back at the National Holstein Convention, demonstrating his commitment to staying connected to his agricultural roots even as he prepared to enter government.
Serious. Let's dive deep into the concrete changes Bloyce Thompson has brought to PEI's agricultural sector since taking office in 2023. His approach combines practical farming experience with innovative policymaking. The numbers tell a powerful story, Douglas. Under Thompson's leadership, PEI has launched a $1.4 million agriculture energy systems pilot program in February 2025, helping farmers reduce costs while promoting environmental sustainability.
And he's tackling the labor crisis head-on, isn't he?
Absolutely. Through the Sustainable Canadian Agricultural Partnership, Thompson has secured over $300,000 for the Agriculture Labor Sub-Program to address the projected 114,000 worker shortage by 2025. The program includes innovative solutions like ESL resources and childcare support for farm workers.
One of his most impactful initiatives came from personal experience within the farming community.
Yes. After losing a fellow dairyman to suicide, Thompson championed FarmersTalk.ca, the first mental health resource specifically designed for PEI farmers and their families. It's a powerful example of how he transforms personal understanding into meaningful policy.
His environmental initiatives are particularly interesting. Can you break those down?
Thompson has implemented a comprehensive approach to environmental sustainability that actually benefits farmers economically. This includes the new Soil Health Initiative launched in 2024, energy efficiency programs specifically for farmers, water access improvements, a $46 million investment in sustainable agriculture announced in September 2023.
And what about his work on trade issues?
As vice chair of the PEI Cabinet Committee on U.S. Relations, Thompson has been instrumental in reestablishing trade markets during imposed restrictions. He's particularly focused on protecting local dairy interests in trade agreements while ensuring PEI farmers have access to international markets.
These achievements show how Thompson's dual perspective as both farmer and politician allows him to create policies that work in the real world. In his modest office overlooking Charlottetown, Thompson's desk tells a powerful story. Legislative documents sit beside DHI records, while his well-worn farm notebook rests next to official government papers. After 6 years as Minister of Agriculture, Justice, and Public Safety, he continues to navigate these parallel paths with remarkable determination.
Passionate, indignant. His vision for the future of dairy farming is particularly compelling, Douglas. Thompson sees beyond traditional boundaries, focusing on practical solutions that will sustain the industry for generations to come.
The dairy farms across the country are the backbone to our rural economies and communities, Thompson often says. And he's backing that belief with action through renewable energy initiatives and support for technological innovation.
His approach to modernizing the industry is comprehensive. Whether it's promoting energy efficiency programs, establishing environmental stewardship initiatives, or fighting for fair pricing, Thompson ensures every policy considers the practical realities of farming.
For farmers listening today, Thompson's journey offers a powerful lesson. Your hands-on experience and problem-solving skills are invaluable beyond the barn. His success proves that authentic agricultural leadership can transform both farming and politics. That's all for today's episode of the Bullvine Podcast. Join us next week for more unfiltered conversations about the dairy industry.
Thank you for tuning in to the Bullvine Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's inspiring story of Bloyce Thompson, a leader who truly understands the challenges and triumphs of dairy farming. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review. Join us next time on the Bullvine Podcast, where we continue to bring you stories that showcase the resilience, innovation, and dedication of the dairy community.